Today, I will be discussing the first lecture of Agro 101 course. So that is definition of agriculture, meaning and scope of agronomy. Coming to the topic, agriculture, the term is derived from Latin language. So where agar or agri means soil, whereas cultura means cultivation. Coming to the definition of agriculture, if I ask question to the students what is agriculture, they may oftenly reply that so it is a crop production or livestock farming or other enterprises. So agriculture is a very broad term encompassing all aspects of crop production, livestock farming, fisheries, forestry, etc. Agriculture may be also defined as it is a art, science and the business of producing crops and livestock for man's use and employment. So agriculture is an art. So whatever the farm operations are following, so these all are depends on the skill of the labor. So it is an art and it is the science also. So whatever the scientific principles or technologies generally used for development of new varieties or breeding of new cultivars, so it is a science. And coming to the business, so it is also business that we have to produce maximum returns with minimum input application. So it is a business also. So agriculture may be defined as the art, science and the business of producing crops and livestock for man's use and employment. So coming to the basic sciences for development of agricultural science. Agricultural science is a applied science, but it is related with the basic sciences. So basic sciences means here study of the basic principles and fundamentals of the respective subject, generally called as basic science. So when these fundamentals and basic principles are applied in the practical field, so those are called applied science. So agriculture is related with the botany. So the knowledge on botany is development of new varieties or breeding of new cultivars, and knowledge of zoology is useful for the identification of pest and pests are insects which are for the in agriculture. And physics mainly useful for the determining the relationship between atmospheric weather with the crop yield, as well as the chemistry also useful for the determining what is the soil nutrient status, what is the soil nutrient status and the nutrient reactions in the soil. So the knowledge on chemistry is useful. And mathematics and economics, so for calculating the cost and returns and the profits. So these all the information on these all subjects, all these um, disciplines are required for the development of agricultural science. Okay, so agricultural science is a applied science, but it is related with the basic sciences. So coming to the agronomy, so agronomy, the term is derived from the Greek language. Agros means field, nomos means to manage. So the coming to the definition of agronomy, it is a branch of agricultural science which deals with the principles and practices of soil, water and crop management. It is also can be defined as agronomy deals with the methods which provide favorable environment to the crop for higher productivity. So here the favorable environment means, so whatever the management practices we are following, suppose for example by following the intercultural operations create the soil aeration which improves the soil root growth, so it is a favorable environment. And application of the fertilizers increases the nutrient availability in the soil, so it is also favorable environment. So like that, so some methods can be followed to improve the favorable environment to the crop for higher productivity. So it is briefly regarding the agronomy definition. So coming to the basic principles of agronomy, so here the planning and executing measures for maximum utilization of the resources, for example land, sunshine, rainwater, temperature, humidity, as well as the inputs like capital, irrigation, water requirement and fertilizer for increase the yield as well as the maximum profits. And choice of crop varieties according to the climatic conditions as well as the soil fertility, seasons can be selected. And proper field management, so it is mainly for proper field management by following the tillage operations or other field preparations to create drainage channels. So these all are generally this is just the crop productivity. And adoption of multiple cropping, so by following mixed cropping or intercropping, so these all are ensure the harvest for under adverse environmental conditions also. And choice of quality seeds or seed material ensures the maximum plant stand per unit area or maintaining the maximum plant density per unit area can be done. as well as proper water management increases the water use efficiency, and adoption of adequate plant protection measures by following integrated pest management to reduces the pest incidence in the on the crop, and adoption of suitable method of harvesting for getting higher profits, as well as by following the post harvest operations for increasing the quality of the product. So these are the basic principles of agronomy. Coming to the scope of agronomy, so agronomy is a dynamic discipline. So with the advancement of knowledge and better understanding of the plant and environmental conditions, so agricultural practices can be modified, so new practices are developed for the higher productivity. Suppose for example, availability of chemical fertilizers generally necessitates the generation of knowledge on the method, quantity and time of application of fertilizers, as well as application of the herbicides. Generally application of the availability of the herbicides for the control of weeds has lead to development of the information on how much dose of herbicide should be applied and at what time we have to apply. So these are the information can be gathered based on the availability of herbicides. And one side population pressure is increasing, at the same time the arable land area is not increasing, so there is a severe pressure on the land, available land for the higher production. So intensive cropping comes into the picture. Intensive cropping means more number of crops per unit area, like mixed cropping or intercropping for getting higher yields per unit area. And new technology has been also developed to reduce the moisture stress, so to reduce the moisture stress in the dryland conditions, and what are the varieties are generally suitable for getting higher yield in the moisture stress conditions. So these all are nothing but the scope of agronomy. So relation of agronomy to other sciences also. So agronomy is related with the crop physiology, what is the requirement, and biochemistry, soil science and agricultural chemistry, as well as economics. So the information on soil physical, chemical and biological properties can be identified, what is the conditions of the soil and what type of measures can be taken to improve the soil conditions. So these all are can be taken. And advances in economic analysis helped in production of crops economically. So coming to the role of agronomist aims mainly to get the maximum production with the minimum input application. So he exploits the knowledge developed by basic science as well as the applied science for higher crop production. So whatever may be the research finding of other scientists can be given. So agronomist has to test their research finding in the field itself, and finally the feedback, either it is positive or negative, he has to get the feedback from the farming community. So finally he is a key person and working knowledge of all agricultural disciplines and coordinator of different subject matter specialists. So it is the role of agronomist. So by this the lecture 1 is completed. Thank you.